Hey, it's Jason Creel. Wanted to talk to you, give you an update about Alabama Lawn Pros, my own lawn care business. And for the month of May, I picked up 12 customers, which, if you've been following this, is down from April, March, and February, where each of those months I got around 30, 35, maybe 40, I don't know. So, May is the first month in the downturn that will probably last all the way until next February. So for me, I don't look at that as a negative thing. I mean, obviously I'm always wanting to get customers, and I'm picking them up through, not necessarily through doing a lot of marketing, just through my website and through referrals from other customers and neighbors and stuff like that. So I always appreciate that. But May, for me, when I reach this point in the weed control business, it's sort of like you survived for the roughest part of the year. As I tell people, whatever lawn care side you're doing, generally speaking, the spring is your busiest time, as far as maybe not busiest if you're cutting grass, that might be during the summer, but in the spring is your best opportunity to get customers. So for me, in weed control, it's not only the best opportunity to get customers, it is also the busiest time for me, and the most difficult time to control the weeds. And so if I make it to May, I feel like I survived this year, and I survived. So anyway, and had a good year so far. Here's what I want to talk to you about as far as my business, things I'm thinking through, and would always appreciate your input. So I'm a little over 300 customers now. Like I said, doing weed control and fertilization, and I'm having to make a decision moving forward because I don't want to stop the business at myself. I think, what could I handle myself? Okay, so I could probably handle 400 customers. And that would be if I didn't have to run around and give quotes and do other things that are needed to be done in a business. If I was just out there spraying yards or fertilizing or whatever all day, every day, I think I could easily handle 400 yards. The problem is I do have to do the other stuff and enjoy doing that. And I'm wanting to grow the business past myself and to end up hiring somebody. So what I'm struggling with is, this year I've already gained a little over 100 customers. And so I'm kind of looking toward next year. If I gain, let's say, 120 customers between January and May, which was maybe what I got this year, that's going to put me, and then plus whatever I'm going to get the rest of this year. Let's say I finish this year at 340 customers. That's just a guess. Then next year, I say, oh, I could do that. Well, the next year, within a 3-month window, I pick up an extra 100. Well, now I'm in the busiest time of the year, where I'm giving quotes. Weeds are growing like crazy. I'm trying to, and I've got more customers than I can handle. Maybe I can handle that many working 6 days a week by myself. But so I'm kind of in a situation where I want to grow to a second truck, hire somebody. But I'm trying to determine whether to do that next year, or do I try to survive one more year on my own? And I use that word survive loosely. I'm not really surviving. I'm just saying it's going to be a very busy spring if I don't hire somebody. So that's what I'm wrestling through with. I want to get to a second truck, but I don't want to hire somebody and buy a second truck and all that unless I need to. Same time, I don't want to hinder my growth. So here's one of the things I'm thinking through. And this is something I want to do, not for the money's sake. I'm trying to improve the way I run my business. So I've been doing 6 applications a year. A lot of my competitors in this area are doing 8 and 9 applications. One thing, when I get complaints, it's usually in the springtime. I'm getting complaints for weeds, or that their grass is not green enough early in the year. So as my business grows, I'm not able to get to everybody as quickly as I could when it was smaller, as far as, let's say I start putting out fertilizer May 1st. Well, for some people, it may be on into June before I can put fertilizer down. So what I'm thinking about doing is adding a 7th treatment in the springtime, one, to give me that extra opportunity to take care of any weeds I see, to try to, cut down on the number of weeds and calls I get about that. And then to be able to put out some fertilizer earlier in the year That way, if I'm not able to come back with the heavier dose of fertilizer, if I don't get to some of them until June, well, at least they've already had some fertilizer put out in April to give them that early green up. So, you know, in doing that, going to 7 treatments, well, now I have even a shorter time frame to get the treatments done. Instead of having 8 weeks to get it done, I'm more like 6 weeks in the spring. So that may even accelerate the need to have an extra person. So anyway, these are things I'm wrestling through in my own business. I would love your input. And I, like I said, you can fly solo all the time if you want to, and that's fine. I just personally, I want to hire somebody. I want to get multiple trucks running, and from what I've been told, you know, going from 1 truck to 2 trucks, and I've experienced this to some degree when I was cutting grass, but from 1 truck to 2 trucks is the most difficult jump, you know. And then when you go from 2 to 3 to 3 to 4, you know, that's easier. And so and I see that, because what you don't want to do, I don't want to hire somebody when I barely have enough work for me to do. You know, I can almost handle it myself. So now I've split this work in between 2 people. At the same time, I don't want to max myself out and actually have more than I can do before I hire somebody. You know, so it's just it's almost like you have to go ahead and make that jump when you don't really have quite enough work, and then try to quickly fill up the schedule. Or possibly I could look at hiring somebody part-time this year, so this coming year. So anyway, that's the update, Alabama Lawn Pros. If you've noticed, I'm making some changes to my channel. It's now called Lawn Care Life, and there's going to be some other changes you're going to see as far as the new look that the channel is going to have. So if you hadn't subscribed, go ahead and subscribe, and look forward to talking to you soon. Thanks.